Hello, traders. Welcome to another episode of our weekly analysis. And I remain your humble host, Mr. Wex. This week, we are going to go straight by looking at the index before we move to our usual two instrument. So on the index, as we can see, yesterday was NFP, and we did see price nosedive. Basically, this means that we have a negative news against the USD, and now price is currently sitting at a demand right here, because this is a level, the immediate level where we did see the buyers establish their presence, and price is yet again back to this level. Now we are expecting a reaction around that level where maybe we could see a dance around for price to further continue bullish. Now, of course, there's this expectation that looking at the volume that the bears are currently in possession of, there might be a probability that we could see a break below this zone, a possible retest, and price would continue downward, because looking to the left hand side, there is actually nothing really available to resist the drop in price. We could have a smooth drop all the way to this immediate demand and probably a further continuation. But I'm not going to be focusing on this low, but rather a reaction at this point or a close below for price to continue bearish. Then if that is the case, let's assume, or let's expect that if we do have a reaction here, of course, it means that we would be seeing a correction on gold to the downward direction, or a continuation to the bullish direction, depending on what the index does. Of course, we already know that the index is inversely correlated to the gold. So with that being said, let us quickly move to US30 before concluding our analysis for the day with gold. On US30, we could see that price aggressively dropped to take out this liquidity. And of course, at this point, it is at this area of accumulation where it is still at the middle of the zone. So there is still an expectation that price could further drop to this demand zone, because at this point, we did see an accumulation price push higher, taking out this structure right here. We did see a retest back into this zone before we could see a strong rally in price. So this makes this area, this zone, a significant one. So there is a probability that we could see price further drop into this, because the bearish volume, it's still intact. And of course, there has to be a potential retest before a further a strong reaction, for maybe a strong correction before a continuation, or a strong correction for a price to probably reverse back to the bullish direction. Because if you look at it from this level, you could see that price is bullish. So look at that. So at this level, looking at our trend line, it confluences that there might be a reaction at this point. But of course, then again, if we do see a close below the zone, then we should expect a further drop in price to this level. But strongly, I'm going to be looking forward for buys at this point. Now, we could see a gap in price above to clear this liquidity right at this point on the forward time frame before we could see a continuation down. Then the reaction that I have been expecting for price to probably correct to retest this level. Then, of course, maybe a further drop to continue the bearish momentum. But if we do not see that, then either way, if we have a break and a close below the last 4-hour candle of Friday's trading day, then we should expect it. We should expect a continuation down to this zone. So, of course, I am anticipating that we should have a gap above before the drop in price. So either way, these are the scenarios I'm going to be looking out for on US30. Now, concluding with gold, last week gold was very, very responsive, very, very responsive. As a matter of fact, yesterday it really dished out. Though my target was at this point, I did pick the bulls, and of course, I exited it, but it did continue. Now, this week, what am I going to be expecting? Pulling out a trend line, could see that where we did see exhaustion in price is basically where the trend line is cutting across. So basically, it's likely that there's going to be a reaction in the trend line, the bullish trend line, where we could possibly see something of this sort. We might see price push back into this level, push up into this level, sorry. We could see price push up into this level, react. So this would be a liquidity sweep based on the trend line and based on this level right here. And and of course, from that point, we could further see price come back down. So basically, this week, I'm going to be looking forward for a little bit of a buy continuation, then a sweep back to the downside. So this is basically what I'm going to be looking for. Unless, of course, we do see something of this sort where there is a break, a retest, then I could now expect to see a further push in price towards probably the immediate high right here after this high. So we should see a close above this level right here. So if we do have price take out this liquidity close above retest, then it is bulls all the way. So this reflects back on what I made mention on the index. So if we do have price close below this and continue, then it's going to have a ripple effect on gold where we will have such reaction for price to continue bullish. So with this being said, we are just going to be following price action based on the structure. If we have a retest here, then we are heading for at least this high right here. So I would admonish us at this point, if this content is helpful, please kindly like the video, share, and subscribe if you have not done that already, and comment. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let's interact and let's grow together. As usual, I am your humble host, and I expect to see you on the winning side. Until next week, peace.